Have you ever sat in silence before a Buddha statue, eyes filled with tears, and wondered why you were crying? You think those tears are signs of weakness, or could they actually be the beginning of your deepest spiritual transformation? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we explore something intimate, sacred, and profoundly human: the tears we shed in front of the Buddha. These are not ordinary tears. They are the expression of something deeper than words. And today, we'll dive into their meaning, their power, and the hidden message they carry for your spiritual journey. In the chaos of everyday life, it's easy to be numb. We push through routines, check boxes, meet deadlines, and keep up appearances. But beneath the surface, so many of us are quietly suffering. We carry the weight of unspoken regrets, unfulfilled dreams, broken relationships, unhealed traumas. And then one day, you walk into a temple. You sit. Maybe you light a candle or some incense, and as your eyes meet the calm, compassionate gaze of the Buddha, something breaks. The tears come, not from sadness, but from something deeper. What is that? It's the heart remembering itself. You see, in Buddhist understanding, the tears you shed in front of the Buddha are not about emotion alone. They are the moment your ego begins to loosen its grip. When you cry before the Buddha, you're not just mourning pain. We're surrendering control. We're letting go of the stories you've told yourself for years. I have to be strong. I can show weakness. No one understands me. In the presence of the Buddha's silence, those stories dissolve. Let me share the story of me. She was a high-performing lawyer in a major city. On the outside, she was polished, confident, and unstoppable. But inside, she was constantly on edge. She had a strained relationship with her parents, a failed marriage behind her, and a deep sense of unworthiness she tried to cover with success. One weekend, during a trip to Qigong, she entered a small temple on a quiet street. It was nearly empty. The air smelled of pine and incense. A statue of the Buddha sat at the front, eyes gently lowered, mouth softly curved into a half smile. She sat on the cushion and closed her eyes. At first, her mind raced, thoughts about work, relationships, emails. And the silence began to seep in. And suddenly, tears flowed, uncontrollably. She didn't know why. There was no tragic memory, no specific pain, just an overwhelming flood of emotion. When she finally opened her eyes, she felt lighter, as though she had laid down a burden she didn't even know she was carrying. What happened to me is not rare. So it happens when the soul finally breathes. Tears are not a breakdown. They are a breakthrough. The Buddha doesn't speak, but his presence reflects your own truth. And in that reflection, all the walls you've built start to melt. The Dalai Lama once said, "Compassion is the radicalism of our time." When you cry before the Buddha, you are experiencing compassion, and not just from the statue, but from your deeper self. You are touching the part of you that still believes in healing. Tears before the Buddha are also karmic release. Any Buddhist traditions believe that our lives are layered with karmic impressions, both from this life and others. When the mind becomes still and the heart opens, those impressions begin to surface, not as intellectual memories, but as felt experience. Crying is how the body participates in purification. Just as sweating expels toxins, tears expel karmic residues. Have you ever cried without knowing exactly why? That's karma rising to be released. And the Buddha's silent gaze is the container for that release. Let me tell you about a man named Carlos. Carlos had never practiced Buddhism. He grew up Catholic, drifted into atheism, and eventually became spiritual but not religious. After a difficult divorce and the death of his father, he felt numb. Therapy helped, but something was still missing. A friend invited him to a Zen center. Skeptical but curious, he went. He sat before a statue of Kannon, the Buddhist statue of compassion. Within minutes, tears welled up. He didn't resist. Later, he said, "It felt like someone was holding all the pain I didn't even know I had." That's the magic of sacred presence. It doesn't fix you. It invites you to feel, fully and safely. And feeling is the first step to healing. When we cry before the Buddha, we are not asking for rescue. We are awakening. We are saying, "I'm ready to stop pretending. I'm ready to face what I've buried. I'm ready to return to myself." That moment is the real beginning of spiritual practice. I like the bikes, I like the fairies, I like the rituals. At the moment the heart cracks open. And from that crack, light enters. These tears also signal humility. To sit before the Buddha and weep is to admit that you don't have all the answers. And that's okay. In fact, that's the first noble truth. There is suffering. And there is a path beyond it. But you must first acknowledge it. You must feel it. And you must let it move through you. In our culture, tears are often seen as weakness. But in spiritual life, tears are strength. It means you are soft enough to be transformed. It means the armor is coming off. And beneath that armor is your true self, not the self of ego, but the self of awareness, of compassion, of connection. So next time you feel those tears coming as you sit in front of the Buddha, or in meditation, or during a teaching, then hold them back. They are the river that carries you all. And remember this, the Buddha sees you. Not as broken, not as flawed, but as someone in process. Someone peeling back the layers. Someone brave enough to feel. Someone awakening. And that is sacred. Thank you for watching this video. If you've ever cried before the Buddha, or during a moment of spiritual silence, share your story in the comments. Let this be a space where we normalize emotional honesty and honor the path of awakening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and consider supporting this channel by becoming a member. Until we meet again, may your heart remain open, your tears be healing, and your path be blessed with compassion and light.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny? Take the soulmate test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now.
http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.